Imagine being 50 years old, sitting across from your doctor and hearing the words, "Your levels are fine," but you don't feel fine. You haven't felt fine in years. The energy you had at 35 is gone. The drive, that sharp, get-up-and-go feeling that used to just be there, has quietly disappeared. You're exercising. You're watching what you eat. And yet something fundamental feels broken, like the engine is running, but nobody's keeping it tuned. Here's what your doctor isn't telling you. And honestly, he probably doesn't know. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the entire system, not just one piece of it. We're going to start with the basics every man can apply today, build through the science most doctors never touch, and finish with the single most powerful insight that almost no man over 40 ever reaches. Every secret we cover is going to matter more than the last. So stay with me, because the one at the end changes everything. The testosterone crisis hitting men over 40 isn't simply about aging. It's about a hormonal system being slowly suffocated by the way we eat. Not what we eat. When? The constant grazing, the late dinners, the small snack before bed. These habits are building a biochemical environment that actively blocks testosterone production at the cellular level. Every single day. And the solution isn't a prescription. It is an injection. It's something you can start tomorrow morning by doing absolutely nothing. Literally nothing. Fasting. There are 7 things fasting does to your testosterone that mainstream medicine isn't talking about. Each one builds on the last. And the further we go, the more powerful it gets. Let's start with the foundation, because without understanding this first mechanism, nothing else makes sense. Every time you eat, insulin rises. That's normal and expected. But here's what the 6 meals a day crowd never told you. Chronically elevated insulin directly suppresses testosterone synthesis. There is a documented direct inverse relationship between the two. High insulin, low testosterone. Not a theory. Endocrinology. When you're eating from 7 a.m. straight through to 10 p.m., which most men over 40 are, your insulin never gets a chance to drop. And your testosterone never gets a chance to rise. It's like trying to have a conversation in a room where someone is constantly shouting over you. Secret 1. When you fast, insulin drops to its floor. That suppression lifts. For the first time in years, your body gets the biological silence it needs to actually produce. Here's what it is. Insulin suppression. Why it matters? Because every hour your insulin stays elevated is an hour your testosterone can't rise. How to use it today? Simply push your first meal back. Start with 12 hours between your last meal and your first the next morning. That alone begins to shift the environment. Now that you understand the foundation, the next secret builds directly on top of it. And this one surprised even me when I first read the research. Secret 2. Testosterone isn't manufactured randomly. Your brain has to authorize it first. It does this through pulses of a hormone called Luteinizing Hormone, LH. Think of LH as the command signal your brain fires to your testes. Produce. The stronger and more frequent those pulses, the more testosterone gets made. Research has confirmed that short-term fasting significantly increases both the frequency and amplitude of LH pulses. Fasting makes your brain shout the signal instead of whisper it. What is the LH communication system? Why it matters? Without strong pulses, even healthy testes won't produce at full capacity. How to use it? Your fasting window directly amplifies this signal. The longer and more consistent your fast, the stronger the pulse pattern becomes. After just 1 week of consistent 14 to 16-hour fasting, many men begin reporting a noticeable shift in morning energy. That's not coincidence. That's LH doing its job without interference. But here's something most men don't realize. And this next one is where the science gets genuinely extraordinary. Secret 3. Studies from Intermountain Medical Center found that 24-hour fasting can elevate human growth hormone by up to 2,000% in men. 2,000%. A 1992 paper in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism documented fasting-induced LH increases and subsequent testosterone elevation. Peer-reviewed, replicated, and sitting in the literature completely untouched by mainstream men's health. GH and testosterone work in partnership. Growth hormone protects lean muscle, drives fat metabolism, and directly supports the Leydig cells in your testes, which are your actual testosterone production sites. What it is? A massive natural GH surge. Why it matters? GH creates the anabolic environment testosterone needs to thrive. How to apply it? Extending your fast occasionally to 20 or 24 hours, even once a week, can trigger this surge without compromising your regular routine. Your grandfather didn't eat 6 meals a day. He worked, he ate. There were long gaps in between, not from discipline, but from how life simply was. And his generation didn't have a testosterone crisis. Ours does. The difference isn't genetics. It's meal timing. Now we're moving from the basics in a territory most people never reach. And this is where it starts to get genuinely life-changing. If you tried fasting and felt irritable or foggy in those first days, good. That is not failure. That is your body switching fuel systems, transitioning from glucose dependency to fat oxidation. It passes. And what's waiting on the other side is secret 4. And this is the one that won a Nobel Prize. Autophagy, Nobel Prize in Medicine, 2016. From the Greek for self-eating. Here's what that means for a man over 40. Your cells, including your testosterone-producing Leydig cells, accumulate damage over time. Broken proteins, dysfunctional components, biological debris that builds up like rust inside machinery. Autophagy is where your cells cannibalize that damage, strip it down, and rebuild cleaner structures from the recycled parts. Research has confirmed autophagy is essential for maintaining Leydig cell function. When these cells are running clean, testosterone production improves. When they're choked with cellular debris, it doesn't matter how good the rest of your lifestyle is, the factory is compromised. What it is? Cellular self-repair. Why it matters? Your testosterone factories need maintenance, and autophagy is the only crew that can do the job. How to trigger it? Autophagy deepens significantly after 16 hours of fasting, making your eating window not just a diet strategy, but a biological repair protocol. After 1 month of consistent fasting, men who trigger regular autophagy often report improvements that go beyond the physical. Sharper thinking, better recovery, a sense of vitality they haven't felt in years. That's the machinery running clean. Now we're getting into the secrets that most men, even the ones doing everything right, never discover. And this next one might be the most important thing you hear today. Secret 5. Total testosterone is almost meaningless on its own. What matters is free testosterone, the fraction not bound to a protein called sex hormone-binding globulin, SHBG. SHBG latches onto testosterone and renders it completely biologically inactive, like money locked in a vault with no combination. You could have a normal total T reading and still feel exhausted, unmotivated, and flat, because your free testosterone, the fraction that actually drives energy, muscle, mood, and libido, is locked away. This is the number your doctor almost never tests, and it may be the most important number in the room. Fasting, by reducing body fat and lowering chronic insulin, modulates SHBG in ways that free up more of your testosterone to actually work. What it is? The free testosterone problem hiding behind normal lab results. Why it matters? You can't feel what your body can't access. How to address it? Ask your doctor specifically for free testosterone and SHBG on your next panel. Then use fasting to shift that ratio in your favor. Drop a comment right now. Have you ever had your free testosterone and SHBG tested, not just your total T? Because I bet most men watching this have never seen those numbers. And they might explain years of feeling like something is wrong when every test says you're fine. We're more than halfway through, and I want to flag something. The next 2 secrets work together as a pair. Ignore either one, and you leave significant results on the table. Secret 6. Cortisol and testosterone share the same biological raw materials, the same precursor hormones. When cortisol is chronically elevated, which for most men over 50 it absolutely is, your body makes a ruthless choice. It prioritizes cortisol over testosterone, stress response over anabolism. Every single time. The result, testosterone gets rationed daily. Fasting, particularly when paired with consistent sleep, helps restore the natural cortisol awakening response, that clean morning spike that should rise, handle its job, and decline cleanly through the day. When that rhythm is healthy, testosterone has room. When it's disrupted, testosterone loses ground quietly, consistently, and cumulatively over years. What is the cortisol-testosterone war? Why it matters? You can't win a hormonal battle when your own stress system is consuming your ammunition. How to apply it? Protect your sleep as aggressively as you protect your fast. They are not separate strategies. They are one system. Now, before we get to the final secret, let's address the fear that stops most men before they even start. Won't fasting destroy the muscle you've spent years building? It's a legitimate concern. The fitness industry spent decades convincing you that you must eat every 2 to 3 hours or your muscle disappears. That advice was wrong, and the science has caught up. A 2016 study in Translational Research followed men practicing 16:8 fasting alongside resistance training. Muscle mass was maintained. Testosterone levels held. Body fat dropped significantly. The reason is the same growth hormone surge we already covered. GH is profoundly anti-catabolic. It signals your body to burn fat and protect lean tissue. The one real caveat: you need adequate protein in your eating window. Fasting is a tool. Use it correctly and it works with your body. Neglect protein and you're working against yourself. Here's something almost nobody connects to fasting that your audience particularly needs to hear. That flat feeling, no motivation, nothing landing the way it used to, going through the motions, it isn't just low testosterone. It's dopamine. Testosterone directly governs dopamine receptor sensitivity in the brain. When testosterone drops, so does your capacity for reward, drive, and genuine excitement. Fasting independently reduces neuroinflammation and improves mitochondrial function in the brain's reward circuits. Stack that on top of testosterone recovery, and what men consistently report isn't just physical, it's psychological. The motivation returns. The sharpness comes back. The feeling that life has urgency and color again. Not from prescription, from restructuring when you eat. After everything we've covered, the insulin suppression, the LH amplification, the GH surge, the autophagy, the free testosterone unlock, the cortisol reset. Here is the final secret. And this is the one most men never reach. This is the payoff for staying until the end. Secret 7. Testosterone follows a circadian rhythm. It peaks between 7 and 10 in the morning and declines across the day. That rhythm is governed by light, sleep, and here's what almost nobody in mainstream health ever talks about: meal timing. Eating large meals late at night disrupts the circadian signals that set up the next morning's testosterone peak. Time-restricted eating, aligned with daylight hours, has been shown in emerging research to support and amplify those natural morning surges. Every late-night meal you eat is quietly suppressing the testosterone you wake up with. Every day you align your eating window with daylight is a day your hormonal morning peak gets a little stronger, a little higher, a little more like the man you used to be. What you eat at 9 p.m. is determining the man you wake up as at 7 a.m. Here is the complete picture. Secret 1. Insulin suppression unlocks production. Secret 2. Fasting amplifies the LH signal your brain sends. Secret 3. GH surges to protect muscle and fuel the factories. Secret 4. Autophagy cleans the cellular machinery. Secret 5. Free testosterone rises as SHBG is modulated. Secret 6. Cortisol rhythm is restored, giving testosterone room to rise. Secret 7. Circadian alignment amplifies your natural morning peak. Each one builds on the last. Together, they don't just raise a number on a lab report. They rebuild the hormonal environment of a younger, sharper, more driven version of you. Your testosterone system isn't broken. It's buried under chronic insulin, elevated cortisol, cellular debris, and disrupted rhythms that nobody told you meal timing was controlling. Fasting doesn't add something artificial. It removes what's been piling on top. And when that weight lifts, what emerges is the version of yourself your biology has been trying to restore all along. Start with 12 hours tonight. Move to 14 this week. Push to 16 when you're ready. Track your energy in the morning, your focus at noon, your drive through the afternoon. Because that's where testosterone actually lives, not in a lab value, but in how you show up for your day, your relationships, and your life. If this filled in a gap your doctor never addressed, hit like, subscribe, and share this with a man in his 40s, 50s, or 60s who's been told he's fine while everything inside him says otherwise. He deserves to know this. The science is here. The biology is completely on your side. Now go use it. Also, click on the video on your screen to stay connected. I'll see you there. Take care.